The Influence Tribe, episode number 32.
I just believe that there's greatness in all of us. I don't think that there is magical people over here and then there's the little people over here. I think there's greatness in everybody. And if your ears are listening to these kind of podcasts, then you already know that it's in you because you're growing.
Hey, Influence Tribe. Now, you can take away every tool in my business, but the one thing I can't live without is my email list. Aweber is the number one trusted autoresponder for over 120,000 small business, network, internet, and affiliate marketers. Now, right now, you have the opportunity to try out your first month for free. Just go to theinfluencetribe.net, click on the Aweber banner to get started today. Get your prospects to know, like, and trust you with the best autoresponder out there. Head on over to theinfluencetribe.net today and click on the banner to claim your first month for free.
If you want success in internet marketing, you just have to follow what real internet marketers do.
Now, what do I have to do to get you into this website today?
Right here, you're going to learn strategies, tips, and inspiring stories from up-and-coming internet marketers and current rock stars. Welcome to the Influence Tribe, presented by your hosts, Miguel Fuentes and Scott Lindstrom.
Nice, huh?
Hey, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to another episode of the Influence Tribe show on this wonderful Friday. We want to welcome all of our viewers that's catching this live right now on theinfluencetribe.com. Be sure to put any of your questions down in the comments below. Give us a shout out. Be sure, if you're getting value from this show, to go ahead on over to iTunes, like, subscribe, and give us a 5-star review. Don't forget, you can find all the show notes, recordings, and resources. Just head on over to our blog at theinfluencetribe.net. So, before we kick things off tonight, I just got to ask Angela, are you ready to become a massive influencer tonight?
I'm ready. Let's rock this thing.
All right. Angela Brooks is a first-time guest on the show, and she was born and raised in her native home of Kentucky, where she currently resides today. She's been married for over 16 years, and she has 2 boys, ages 13 and 20. She joined her MLM back in 1997 and then found MLSP in 2016. She's very proud of being able to attain ranks on the leadership boards and is very close to hitting L3. Is that correct?
That is correct. I'm excited.
Right on. Her primary method of building business online is through content, blogging, and social media marketing. So I'm excited to get into tonight's episode. But before I do, I want to head over to my co-host, Miguel Fuentes, who's going to go over who the Influence Tribe is and how you can be a part of our wonderful community. Miguel, good evening. Take it away, sir.
Awesome. Thank you, Scott, for that introduction. Angela, I'm so grateful that you can be here with us tonight. You know, I just looked over and I realized that this is episode 32. We have done 32 episodes of the Influence Tribe. We have brought so much value to our communities and to our audience at large. Like Scott said, check us out on iTunes, check us out on Podbean, wherever. We're out there, I promise. But guys, we're here. We're here to help you become a better leader, because that is what people follow. People follow leaders. They follow people. They don't necessarily do products, but they do follow people everywhere. So we're here to help you learn how to do that, create that attraction in your business, and start getting some success today. So right now, if you're ready to start having some more success in your business, make sure you head on over to theinfluencetribe.com. If you're watching this there right now, click the big yellow button that says, yes, I'm ready to get results. Get back to the person that invited you, and let's do this. Let's rock it out. Angela, please come out. For those folks that don't know you and are not familiar, please come out and share your story. I heard there was something about the back of a truck, but I'll let you relate that one.
Hello. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you inviting me into your tribe space. I appreciate that. I have been seriously making money in network marketing since 2010, where I finally got smart and hired a business coach that was going down the path that I wanted to go. But up until that point, I was piddling. I was a piddler because I didn't even know that what I was doing was network marketing. And no one ever told me that just selling products that I could actually sign people up and make a check. I was a single mom and I needed cash. And I was selling about 500 bottles out of the trunk of my car where I worked at a psychiatric hospital. Yes, I had a key and I had a badge. I was on the outside going in. But I would sell. I would sell a ton of product just out of my car. But my upline at the time didn't tell me that I could sign people up and like make residual money. Hello, somebody talk to me. Fast forward to 2010. That's where I learned to blog. I learned how to use social media. It's been a process. I mean, none of it was easy. It was a learning curve, but I use social media and a blog, and that's how I've built my business to where it is today.
Tell us a little bit about your journey through MLSP here, like coming up in the ranks. I know you've been killing it because you're on the leaderboards all the time. So there's something good going on there. Tell us what's working for you in MLSP right now.
Well, MLSP came along, my business coach, Ray Higdon, and I had a conversation. And of course, I knew that's where he started and had great results. And I was like, is that something I need to add to my business? And because I had so many people coming to me that they weren't naturally wanting my network marketing product, because that's not for everybody. So I didn't want to lose the leads that were there. And I'm like, I need somewhere to divert these people to stay in touch with them. So MLSP fit perfect for me because most of the folks that followed me came in through the blog or through social media, were looking for business training. And so MLSP is always promoting your network marketing company, whatever product you've got, it doesn't matter. They teach, they train with amazing stuff. Their content is just rich. And then they're promoting your stuff. And so it just worked well. I think within the first 3 weeks, maybe I added 500 people inside of MLSP. Yeah,
That's awesome.
That was crazy. That was crazy. That was no ads, by the way. I didn't run any Facebook ads to MLSP because Facebook kept kicking my ads out. So that was just through my blog. I don't know how many I've got. I need to look. But now, 24, I've added 24 people in there, and I'm really, really close to L3. If they're in my system and they're in the trial version, so when they come out and they actually, become true members, then I'll hit my L3. So
that's awesome. I love that. I can't wait to hear about that, and I'm sure I will. Congratulations ahead of time.
Thank you.
So blogging is your primary strategy. What do you recommend that's where people start in their own businesses? If they're going to start their own journey, do you recommend they start blogging right away? And give us a couple of tips. Like, what are the most important keys about blogging that people should be aware of, especially as a beginner?
Well, blogging can be very confusing. And that's what I love about MLSP is because they've got the blog. Everything is set up. You don't have to go and learn what plugins. It's drag and drop. You can be up and blogging in 30 minutes, even if you're slow. And when people ask me, do I need to blog? I just tell them, only if you want to dominate your market. Otherwise, no, you don't have to. And they're like, well, of course I want to dominate. Then you need to be blogging, because that is rich content that is working while you're eating, sleeping. It goes on evergreen. People can find you. And the more content you put out there, the more Google goes, oh, she's pretty cool. Let me send some more folks over there. That is somewhere that I share my experiences, my ups, my downs, my piss offs, all of it. I put it on my blog. I don't want people to think this journey is all rainbows and unicorns, because it's not. But blogging is just somewhere that it's kind of like inviting me to your house for dinner and you don't have a house and you're just going to meet me out in the middle of a cornfield and I'm not going to show up there, right? It's like, I'm not sitting in the grass. So your blog is your home. It's your social media icons. It's who you are. It's about you. It's your products. It's your house. It's your online real estate.
Awesome. Very cool. Talk to us a little bit about creating authority with your blog. Because you just mentioned that, like, if you want to dominate your space, how does that work exactly through blogging?
Most people want to be carbon copy of their upline or their leaders or whatever. And personally, you're not going to get me to do the home meeting thing, because that's not me. That is so not me. I don't want people in my house, and I don't want to go sit in other people's houses. And I don't want to bore people going, I'll just buy your stuff to get you out of my house. When you're blogging, you are sharing your knowledge. When you watch a webinar, when you read a book, when you go to an event, if you will come to your blog and tell about what you just learned, you teach, you invest in yourself, you learn, and you produce your content around it. And that your authority becomes when you're consistent. People lose their blog space because they are not consistent. They'll blog today and then not again for 2 weeks, or they'll blog for a week and then they won't blog for a month. And if we went to buy a magazine, like, I don't know, Entrepreneur Magazine, whatever, and you went to the newsstand to pick it up on Monday to read it on the train, going to work, however you get to work, and it wasn't there, and then the next day it was, and then you went to get another one the third day and it wasn't there, so it was non-consistent, you're going to find another magazine to read. You're going to find another newspaper. So you have to be, mine goes out every Monday. Every Monday it goes out at midnight. I have a newsletter that goes out at 9 a.m. every single Monday. You can expect it. So that, I think consistency is just that powerful.
I know this is more of a long-term strategy. What do you say to people that want to make money today?
Blogging is slow. It is slow. That's something that you're building over time. Social media is a power tool and nobody uses it correctly. You can prospect on Facebook and never get on the phone. There's some people that you do need to get on the phone with, so don't get me wrong. Prospecting on social media is super easy. It's a relationship building spot anyway, and people use it as a spam spot, and they're just posting pictures of their product everywhere and holding it up next to their face like they're a billboard, and people run from that stuff. But if you would tell your story of how you're using a product, like, Wednesday we did a live video on Facebook with a client of mine that I'm teaching to do Facebook Lives. And I schooled her before, this is what you do. Let's do a product exposure. And she was simple. She was to the point. I said, just be yourself. Don't try to sell anything. And she showed how she did the product. That Facebook Live generated 2,000 views and over 400 comments. That's 400 leads that are now in my list that we can talk to and send them the actual link to get the product. But we pulled them off of Facebook because of the Facebook Live. And we will go to each of those 400 people. Yes, we've been very, very busy this week, and say, hey, thanks for, watching the Facebook Live. You seem interested in, or you were open to the product that we were exposing. This is the blog post. This is how you get the recipe, or this is how you get those products. And it's really easy because they're already open to what you're offering.
How do you regularly integrate social media into your blogging?
Every day I am on social media. And if I'm traveling, I've got Hootsuite that I will do scheduled posts. Or if I'm at an event and I am, I can't just power post. I make sure I have at least 6 comments a day on there. And if I'm at an event, it'll auto schedule to where it'll go out to several different platforms at one time. And I will put a nugget that I learned in an event. Or if if I'm training with y'all, then I will put in this link when I get this podcast, and I will share it with my people. And I will tell them what we talked about in little short snippets. Don't give them the whole bucket. You just give them little snippets for them to go, well, that sounds interesting. And they'll click and go and listen themselves. So social media is your driving force. That's your car. That's what's got the wheels to drive them to your house. And hopefully that you'll start building a relationship, because I have a lot of people that'll say, hey, I went and read your blog post. Thanks. It was really informational for me today. And, you just sit down and chit chat. Makes it super easy to generate a customer when you're nice to them.
I've watched your videos on YouTube where you've done just like overviews and analysis of other people's blogs, which are incredibly informative, by the way. I was definitely interested in that. What kind of tips, like general blogging tips, would you give to somebody?
Always, always, always have a call to action in every single blog post. And it needs to be a curious post. You don't want to say, buy my stuff. You need to tell them, if you're struggling having leads and generating leads for your business today, you might be interested in this gal because she generated 106 leads this week. Click here to watch the video. And that sends them into MLSP. They watch the video. You've captured the lead. It goes into your AWeber. And it's a nice circle. But most people don't realize that when they write a blog post, that especially on Twitter, newspapers look for fillers for their paper, and they are looking for a blog post to put in those editorial spaces. And what they see on your blog post is what they will put over there. So you want your name, your picture, links back to your social platforms, your blog. Even though you're going, oh, they're on my blog, you want that in your blog article because you never know where that's going to be picked up.
We're going to get right back to our show. But first, just a quick important announcement.
Hey, what's going on, Influence Tribe? Do you want 2017 to be the game changer in your business? Then you need to attend this event called Live the Dream in Austin, Texas on August 11th through the 13th. This is an awesome 3-day event where you can learn from multiple 6- and 7-figure income earners. It's very simple. Just head on over to ltd.theinfluencetribe.net. That's ltd.theinfluencetribe.net.
Are you getting tons of value? Yeah! See, we told you. Be sure to head over to iTunes to like and subscribe. The Influence Tribe.
What's your daily like? What do you do on it every day? Because you said your blog goes out on Monday. Is the rest of the week generally spent researching your blog? Are you just talking to people during the week?
I just sit on the beach and drink gin and tonics and let it happen. No, I'm
That's
just
what
kidding.
I'm talking about. I'm like, wow. I just generate leads automatically off of my blog every day. That's
I just sun and they come to me. Friday and Saturdays when I start doing my research for a blog, like I have like 6 post-it notes on my desk right now where if I have an idea, I write it down immediately because, you know, you have multiple ideas and things get busy and you forget. And so I go through my post-it notes to see what title that I want to start researching. I work on that usually Friday and Saturdays. Monday, I make sure I get it published out to Twitter, Facebook, my Facebook page. I put it into groups on Facebook that I'm a member of that is appropriate for me to put in that link because not all groups allow you to do that. So, you know, make sure you're not spamming your groups because they'll kick you out. I send it out to Twitter. That's my Monday. And then I do, you know, my follow-up emails and things like that. Make sure those are set up. Tuesdays and Wednesdays is usually when I have my list of leads that I will call, or I make sure I email them. I don't call everybody until I know they're callable. Meaning I send them an email, say, hey, you know, was on my website on such and such day. Well, what did you like about what you saw? And I wait for them to respond. If they respond and say, hey, do you mind jumping on the phone for just like 2 minutes? I just want to ask you a question. And if you give them that short status, they know you're not going to be on there for an hour. And I let them do the talking. I don't try to sell them. I just listen to what they need and try to serve them from there. Because I generate the lead, I connect with them, and then determine the need, whether they go to my product or to MLSP.
Lovely strategy. That is impressive.
Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, that's great. That's great. You know, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Scott right now. I know he's got some questions that he's gonna fire off at you, but
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
In the beginning, we all struggle with something that you had to overcome early in your business to succeed. Well, actually, in the beginning, so what would you say that was for you?
Confidence. I've been a nurse for 32 years, and I can walk into a stranger's room, take care of whatever need they needed at the time. But when you start talking business, you have to have a different posture, and you're speaking to a different audience. But once I learned that, hey, I can just be me, and I like to cut up, and I'm a little sarcastic, you may have noticed. But when I just bring me to the table, that was my turning point, instead of trying to be somebody in business that I was not. And that's where your confidence will shift.
That confidence, where did you find it at?
Hanging around the people that were like-minded, going to events, hanging around people that were bigger than me in the business. And I make sure that my circle is filled with people that make me nervous. I want folks that have been there, done that. Ray Higdon's group, when we were down in Florida just recently, I mean, the table was full of 7- and 8-figure people, not just 6s, 7 and 8. That's an amazing conversation. Your brain, it is totally tweaked differently when you have conversations like that versus somebody around the water cooler at work who wishes they could get a 3% raise. It's a totally different conversation.
Can you tell us what was one of your proudest moments in your network marketing business?
That would be February, when I hit $500,000 in sales in 30 days. I thought that was my biggest moment until March came along and we did 600,000 in 1 month. That was when I learned how to tap down into my market. And I think there's a video on YouTube, now that you mentioned YouTube, about tapping into your market. That's where the growth came from.
Give us 1 or 2 books that you recommend.
What am I even reading right now? I can't think. I know I just finished Tony Robbins, but I can't think of the name of it. It's his newest book, Money, is the one I was just reading. And if you don't know what to do with your money when it arrives, you will lose your money. Then what is it? Unshakable. That's the name of his book, Unshakable. And that was such a powerful book to read, because people, they tell you to make money. And what do you do with it? Honestly, you freak out just a little bit when you start making extra 10 grand a month. You're going, I got too much. What do I do with this? Because the government's got their hand out going, give it to me. That's painful.
Oh, that's got to be painful. I bet that painful. First year is a huge tax problem.
Oh, I've learned a lot about taxes. A lot. Good grief.
What is one of the best pieces of advice that you have ever received as it's related to your business?
That leaders are not found. They are developed. And everybody thinks they're going to go out and they're going to find that big leader to make them rich. You don't find them. They're developed when you grow them into what they need to be. You help them grow. And that was kind of like a ground shaker for me.
Angela, share with us a moment in your business that you were struggling and then you had this aha moment and everything started clicking for you and working for you.
That I'm more powerful than I give myself credit for. That I found that my own ability, even though that's something that I wanted, scared the life out of me. That was just recently it was last year. And when somebody like Ray Higdon asks you to sit on his stage and be on his success panel, that's kind of like, whoa, this dude is like the GoPro with Eric Worre kind of guys. These are big dudes. And he's asking me to sit on his stage. And he said, you don't see what you have that I can see in you. And I'm like, thanks. I I need to work on that. And he says, we're going to. And I'm like, okay. But yeah, we're just so much more powerful than we give ourselves credit, because every single one of us has a unique story that can serve somebody else, that can help them past. I was a single mom, for heaven's sakes, and I was working midnight shift in a psychiatric hospital. And, I was one of those going, are we going to get a 5% raise this year, not this month? And, I was just an average person, but in my gut, I believed that there was way more in this world than just working midnights, working on somebody else's schedule, being exhausted all the time. And I made sure that I seek that out and put myself in front of people, because the power, that light is burning. If you're listening to this podcast, you have a light that's burning and you know that it's there. Develop it, because you're going to serve other people that need you.
Okay, I'm going to turn this over to Miguel real quick. Miguel, do you have any final thoughts or statements you'd like to say?
Guys, make sure that you click that big yellow button on the side of the page that says, yes, I'm ready to get results. Get back to the person who invited you here. Ask them how you can be on their team, how you can get working with them today, because I guarantee you, we're going the way that you want to go. Just jump on, let's go. Angela, thank you so much for sharing that. I absolutely adore that. That's an amazing statement. I'm kind of just curious what was the shift that you had to make to overcome that?
I don't know that there was a magic moment other than when somebody asked you to do something. If this was something we learned at an event just recently, if you were 10 times bolder right now in this moment, what would you do? And I ask myself that often. If there's a big leader that's standing in the hallway and you're going, oh, I'd like to talk to them, but you don't, because you're going, oh, I'm not big enough, or I'm not good enough to talk to those people. if you were 10 times bolder, you would take yourself right over there, shake their hand, say, hey, my name's Angela Brooks, and I have been following you. They love it. They love to be recognized just like you are going to enjoy being recognized. And I think just doing it when you're shaking in your shoes, do it anyway, and you will reap such big benefits. I don't say no very often because I know that every opportunity brings another opportunity and opens different doors. Shake, rattle, and roll, but just go forward.
Go ahead, Scott. Go ahead. I'm happy. Thank you, Angela. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Angela, I got the $1 million question for you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You've lost all your income, but you have all the knowledge you currently possess. If you had to start all over again, what would you do in your business to start getting immediate results?
Hands down, I would start blogging. I would research my niche market, and I would go after them like a madman.
Awesome. Well put. Now, do you have any parting words for our audience, or wisdom, or best advice, and how can they get in contact with you?
Well, you can find me on angelabrook.com. There is parting words. I just believe that there's greatness in all of us. I don't think that there is magical people over here and then there's the little people over here. I think there's greatness in everybody. And if your ears are listening to these kind of podcasts, then you already know that it's in you because you're growing. But I would love to connect with you, especially over on Facebook, Angela Brooks Biz on Facebook. Give me a shout. Let me know that you found me here. I'd love to hear from you.
Thanks again, Angela, for hanging out with us. You're truly a massive influencer. So thank you again.
Awesome. Thank y'all.
Folks, you are the product of the 5 closest people you hang around with. And tonight you've been hanging out with Angela Brooks. Angela, thank you again for coming on tonight. God bless you and good night.
Thank you for joining us today at the Influence Tribe. All right, here's what you got to do. Run, don't walk. Over to theinfluencetribe.net for recaps of every show, training, and helpful resources. Make no mistake, your internet marketing success is waiting for you. Head to the website and prepare yourself to become a massive influencer.